Hi there everybody and welcome to a very special episode. Today I would like to go over my dividend portfolio. Now in the past I've said I don't really want to show my portfolio because it's just I don't want to give people bias as to like what to buy or what not to buy. I think people should make their own decisions. However, recently I've been thinking, I have been saying a lot that I am a dividend investor and all that stuff, and well, I would just like to show all of you guys exactly what kind of companies I hold and how much income I actually have coming in through dividends, just to prove to all of you, whoever's interested in this strategy, that it actually does work. Now, I'm starting off with showing you guys my dividend passive income portfolio on M1, which I have shown in the past. And as y'all can see right here, I have around $97,000 in my portfolio with around $17,660 in capital gains. As you can see right here, buying power of $238.31. The important thing about this buying power specifically is because this $238 is actual money that isn't from me. I did not put in this money. This was all coming in from my passive dividend income. Now, I have a lot of companies when it comes to this, and I'm actually not going to show you guys the companies I hold in this portfolio, or at least in this M1 portfolio. I'm actually going to show you guys what I use on a day-to-day basis as to how I track my companies, and actually a couple things I've added here and there to see if I were to put X amount of money in, what dividend income I would get back. So all I'm gonna say right here is not financial advice. I'm not telling anybody what to buy, but I'm just showing you what I do on a day-to-day basis. So with that said, let's get started with this video. And now guys, welcome to my dividend portfolio on my spreadsheet. This is the same spreadsheet, by the way, that I do the stock evaluations and all this stuff. So you can see right here at the bottom, I have here stock evaluation summary and stock fundamentals. This right here is my spreadsheet that I use on a day-to-day basis to figure out how many companies I have, number one, and if I would invest, let's say, X amount into a company, how much would this actually pay me back, and the difference that a new buy would actually get me. Now, what I'm showing you guys here is pretty much my entire portfolio per sector. Technology, I have around $8,657, generating me about $225 in dividends. Financials, I have around $969 invested. The REIT sector, I have about $14,000 invested, earning me around $637.95. Healthcare, $17,000 invested, earning about $733. Utilities, $3,324 invested, earning about $116. Consumers, $14,000 invested, earning $444. Industrials, $2,956, earning about $96. Energy, $12,382 invested, generating $694. Telecom, $9,377 invested, generating $436. And lastly, materials, $811 invested, earning about $38. The total money I have invested across all sectors is around $83,647, and all of these sectors combined are actually generating a whopping $3,463.57. Now over here, this is actually how much I have invested per company. And as you can see right here, Chevron actually makes the biggest of my portfolio, being around 15%, Verizon being around 14%, AbbVie 8.2%, and Amgen at 8.1%. And as you can see right here on this graph, well, this is how much annual dividends each sector actually gives me. Real estate right now is actually giving me the most amount of money. However, the energy sector, it is the second highest. And this energy sector is actually really unique because, well, Chevron is the only company I have in this sector, and Chevron's actually generating me the most amount of cash by a single company in my whole entire portfolio. Now, you guys are probably wondering, how do you know how much money each of them is giving you? And, well, for that, I have this tab over here called the Dividend Holdings. And all of these companies right here is exactly what you just saw. I have all of them right here. JP Morgan, FE, Chevron, AbbVie, Merck, Amgen, etc, etc, etc. Around 44 holdings, I would say. Yeah, 44 holdings. And it's actually really cool because the way that this spreadsheet, or the way that this tab works, is I have a formula over here that's pretty much telling me exactly when X dividend date comes out, and also the current share price based on the ticker and also the current share price, the amount invested, and most importantly of all, the dividend yield. Now, the dividend yield, guys, is not a normal formula Google spreadsheet has, unlike, for example, the share price, where you could just put, Google Finance, the ticker, and then quotes, price, and you get the share price. The dividend yield is actually from a macro that one of my good friends that I speak to sometimes, we haven't spoken formally, but in the comment section I usually pop in most times, Investing Sensei. I'm actually going to leave a link into his channel because he's really good. In fact, he made a macro for Google spreadsheets allowing all of you guys to actually get the amount of dividends a company pays out. Now, the way that I get the yield out of it is actually just fairly simple, which is just the dividends per share divided by the total share price, and that's about it. So as you can see right here, this is the formula I have. Obviously, this is tied to my spreadsheet, so it's essentially the same exact formula, and this is pretty much what gives me the dividend yield. Now, what gives me the annual payout, the semi-payout, the quarterly payout, and all this stuff? Well, once you essentially have the yield, all you really have to do is just put the number of shares that you have and the amount invested, and the annual payout just becomes, as you can see right here, the dividend yield times the number of shares times the current share price, and then this gives you the annual payout, and then the semi-annual payout, the quarterly payout, and the monthly payout is just this number divided by either 2, 4, or 12. And now, actually coming down here, this is the part of my spreadsheet that I value the most, and this tells you exactly how much dividends a company will pay you based on the price that you are willing to invest. So let's just take a company over here. Let's just take Verizon, right? So right over here I have the price willing to invest, the number of shares that this price willing to invest would actually give you, the projected shares, meaning the number of shares you currently have plus the number of shares that that amount will get you, the projected dividends, and then the dividend difference. This dividend difference, it is essentially if you were to buy enough shares of, let's say, Verizon to give you $25 difference in comparison to what you have now, then this would tell you, hey, this is $25 difference. So let's just give you guys an example. Let's just say that I want to buy $2,000 worth of Verizon right now. Well, this would pretty much get me around 37.71 shares, which would actually end up being a total shares of 208.15. And after buying this, Verizon would actually be generating me $133 every single quarter. And this difference would be $24 to what they are paying me today. So if I were to invest $2,000, then Verizon's dividend will go up to 133, making the difference as to what they are paying me currently and how much would they be paying me after putting this $2,000, a $24 difference. And the reason why I created this is because I would like to know, hey, if I were to buy this company at this price and me putting in this amount of money, how much money am I going to get in return? Because my ultimate goal is to live off of these dividends at the end. Therefore, if I could get the dividend difference every single time to be around $25 per investment, that means that per quarter it would go up by $25, meaning that the annual dividends per year would increase by a total of $100, making the amount of dividends being paid out every single year go up even faster than if I were to just put into companies that will generate me $6 over here, $5 over here, $3 over here. So my ultimate goal is to get these dividends up as fast as possible, and in doing so, I want to know how much in dividends they would pay me if I were to put X amount. And this is essentially what all this does. What I usually do is I usually have like, I would put like 2,000 over here for Southern Company. I would say, okay, $19, cool. Then I would go all the way down here, AVGO, let's say $2,000 over here. Okay, so as you can see, if I were to put in $2,000 for Southern Company, my projected dividends would be around $30 per quarter, and the dividend difference would be around $20, as opposed to AVGO, which now my projected dividends would be $39, essentially $40, and the dividend difference would be $14. So even though this one is less dividends than Southern Company, the dividend difference for Southern Company is actually higher than AVGO, meaning in this case, I will get more value for buying Southern company than AVGO. Now, the other tab that I also like to use, guys, is this X dividend slash payout dates. And I essentially just have all my companies over here on the side, and I have every single month out of the year, and then I just use a basic formula and then project the quarterly dividends or monthly dividends that I have on my dividend holdings tab to just place it into the exact month that these companies pay out. So as you can see right here, JP Morgan pays out on 1, 4, 7, and 10. So all of their dividends are going to go right here. Then you have Coca-Cola, which pays out on 4, 5, 10, and 12, meaning all of these dividends are going to go right here. So I do this for essentially every single company, and then I just do a simple sum formula to get how much dividends I would get per month, and then I just add per quarter, and then I just add per year to get the exact same amount. And then this is the macro that Investing Sensei actually made up right here. He created this to essentially take the information from Seeking Alpha and generate it over here. I don't necessarily know how this works. I think it's like a scrapping thing, or not scrapping, or like scraping thing. I don't know much about coding. Don't ask me, but that's essentially how it works. So if you just come over here to Portfolio Tools and then you hit Get Latest Dividends, normally this would essentially wipe all of this out. However, they seem to be having issues with Seeking Alpha right now, and we're getting an error here, truncated error. So, but essentially, once you would click that, every one of these would just go blank, and it would repopulate with the updated dividend amount. So if a company were to, let's say, increase their dividends or cut their dividends, it would populate right here. And then what I did was I just put in formulas in every single cell in my dividends holdings tab to essentially just capture what this macro actually shows, and then I would just populate it over here. Essentially taking his macro and then turning it into my own spreadsheet, just so that way it's a little bit easier for me to look up. Now I'm going to show you guys pretty much my penultimate tab, and this one right here is what I use to track my dividend income. Now what I have here is monthly dividends. What I do is every single time I get paid in dividends, I record it over here, and this tab is actually connected to my dividend payment graphs. And this is just a quick way to see what you guys just saw. And this shows you how much in dividends I have gotten since I first started. As you can see right here, January of 2020, when I first started, I received around 16 cents. Whereas January of 2021, it went up to $35.51. And January of this year went up to a whopping $175.36. And as you can see right here, March, we're already up to $299.26, and March isn't even over. And in fact, if we actually come back here to the ex-dividend payout dates, we can actually see that March should be around $430.74 being paid out in dividends. So essentially, every single time I get paid in dividends, in order for me to track it, I essentially just put it here. You know, you put in the numbers, you add them, and then that's it. You essentially get it, and then it gets populated over here. And over here, this shows you the graphs per monthly dividends, the graphs per quarterly dividends, and the annual dividends. And over here at the bottom, I have what every company should pay me in annual dividends. And now, guys, the last thing that I want to show all of you is this calendar. And this calendar is actually something that I just decided to do because I wanted a way to access when the ex-dividend comes out and when the payout date was supposed to come out on my phone. So I was just like, okay, can this Google spreadsheet connect to a calendar? I've figured out that yes, you can. So I created two other tabs, ex-dividend date tabs and payout date tabs. The ex-dividend date and the payout dates, again, Investing Sensei's macro pretty much picks this up. All I did was just a simple VLOOKUP to just project it over here, right? Therefore, once I actually had all of these over here, I just made this tab and connected it to the Google Calendar, essentially projecting all of the ex-dividend dates and all of the payout dates into the calendar, making it a whole lot easier to see when each company's ex-dividend date and payout date was. As you can see right here, we see that on the 14th, we have a lot of ex-dividend dates: CCI, DLR, Coca-Cola, Leggett & Platt, Mark, Zell. We also have AVGO on the 21st, Smith & Wesson, Waste Management, and we're getting also paid out from Next Era Energy, Realty Income, and SWKS on the 15th. So it's just basically a much visual way to see the ex-dividend dates and payout dates when companies actually give out your dividends. So all in all, guys, this is essentially my dividend passive income strategy. I usually don't even log into M1 because I just mainly spend majority of the time in my spreadsheet. I log into M1 whenever I buy something to see the number of shares and at what price I bought it in. So then that way I could just populate my spreadsheet and I could see how much dividends I'm getting, what is the difference, etc, etc, etc. But hopefully y'all guys like this video. It's a little bit different than normal, and hopefully this will give you an insight on the strategy that I'm using of investing. Now, again, I'm not telling you guys what to invest in. I'm not telling you guys to invest in this form of strategy. I'm just telling you exactly what I am doing. This is not financial advice, and if you like this strategy, then I would suggest you do a lot more research. There's a lot of people out there on YouTube that actually make more content on this strategy than me. In fact, they're the ones that I actually use to actually learn about the strategy, and I just implemented it and I'm kind of making it my own over here. So that pretty much does it for this video. Like if you like, comment, subscribe. It really does help with the algorithm on YouTube. You can follow me on my new tech sites of BitChute, Odyssey, and Rumble, where in addition to my stock analysis videos and crypto videos, you will find exclusives as well in regards to Odyssey, Rumble, and YouTube. I have a Let's Play channel, link in the description below, where I'm currently playing through Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I'm also putting some Bloons TD Battles content, so if you want to catch that, please follow me there. So with that said, peace out, and be on the lookout for the next video, which will probably be a stock analysis.